Hi everyone and welcome to the Red Brick House. Today I wanted to continue with my slow stitching on Sundays, and last week I made a spider web, and today, continuing with the Halloween theme, I want to slow stitch a jack-o'-lantern. And so come along with me. You can stitch along with me if you'd like to. I'm just using some leftover fabric to cut out and make a little jack-o'-lantern, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. So with that said, let's get started. Okay, so to start out with, I drew a pumpkin. Now I just found a free how to draw, because I attempted to draw a pumpkin on my own and it didn't look that great. And so I found one of these step-by-step free to draw how to draw a pumpkin. And so there's my little pumpkin. It's a little bit bigger than what I kind of had envisioned, but it'll be fine. And so then I took this and I traced it onto some orange fabric with my blue pen here, my fabric marker. I did all this ahead of time because this took quite a while as well. So let me get this together here so I can show you. Okay, oops. Okay, so then I drew, got some lint on there. Okay, so then I drew around that little template and I cut myself out a little pumpkin, and then I drew on the lines. Let me bring it up closer so you can see. So I drew on those lines so I could see kind of where my stem was going to be and where I wanted to put my stitching, because I want to stitch on these lines here. I might have made them a little too dark, but it's okay. This is a slow stitch. After all, it's just for fun and just for the process of doing it. Now, I am a beginner, so go easy on me because I am just learning all these things. And so this is not meant to be a tutorial in any kind of way, just so you know. Okay, so I cut that out. This is just a cotton fabric that I had left over from a Halloween costume I made my daughter one year. And then I wanted to make my stem different. So I had, if you've watched some of my other fall videos, you might recognize this print. Here I have another piece of it with the trucks and the pumpkins and some trees. And so what I did is I cut out the stem, or I tried to. I cut out the stem here in this, where this tree was on this fabric. Let me bring you in closer. And so right here, so I cut this out. So it ended up looking like this. Then I'm planning to just sew it down and lay it on top of here. Now, when I did it, I kind of didn't get it long enough right here when I cut it out. Because what I did is that after I had the orange fabric here cut out, then I took this fabric and I laid it over top of my purple pumpkin here. I laid it over top like this, of where I wanted this fabric to show the tree part, because that's what I wanted. And I kind of laid it over top, and I traced on that fabric, I traced this edge here, so I had a guide. And then I just kind of flipped it up and drew this line, and flipped it up and continued this line here. And I mean, I guess I could have just cut it out of here because it wouldn't have mattered, but I don't know. I kind of wanted to keep this in case I wanted to make another one, some other time. I've kind of been keeping these little patterns that I'm cutting out. So, but that is an idea, is that I could have just cut it out of here and then cut it out of the fabric. That would have been much easier, and it would have been a better representation, because here I didn't cut it long enough. And so I had to cut out some little teeny tiny pieces of fabric that are going to end up going here to fill that in. And I have another teeny tiny one that's going to go there, so it'll kind of fill in my stem here at the end. So I'm not sure how I'm going to stitch those little pieces on. I could heat up my iron and I could fuse them to the fabric before I stitch over top of it. I may do that. I have some of that, well, it's not interfacing, but it's kind of like interfacing, and that might work. I may do that. But for now, I'm going to start on my pumpkin first. So when I get to that, we'll see. So I'm just going to, well, I'll leave it on so you can see the whole thing, how I planned it out. Once I got that done, then I didn't have any black cotton, but I did have a black t-shirt I didn't want anymore. And so I used that, which was very tricky. I folded it over and I cut out roughly two triangles. But I'm glad that my triangles didn't come out like perfect because it made the eyes kind of fun. It made them kind of like this curvy little shape. So I think they're pretty cute. And then I just took a smidge and I did a little nose. And then I can replace these later when I get ready to stitch them on. And then I just made a simple little smile because I wanted a happy pumpkin. I didn't want a mean pumpkin and then you can arrange the smile or the face however you want it to look. I just did something really simple. I didn't do any, my daughter was like, are you going to cut out teeth? Like when we do our jack-o'-lanterns, I was like, no, I'm not doing that. It's just going to be very, very simple. But I mean, you can change the face by just like changing the position of things. When I used to work in preschool, it was so funny because we would glue together projects like this with construction paper. And even though they were all making the same thing with the same cutouts, but all of the faces look different depending on how the child glued them onto the paper. So it was just so adorable to see them because, somebody might have glued their triangle upside down. Somebody might have glued their triangles this direction. And it makes the pumpkin look totally different. So it's kind of fun to play around with these things. So anyway, we'll get to the face later and I'll decide how I want it to be. But first I'm going to stitch my pumpkin. I also made a background for my pumpkin that I'll talk about here in just a little bit when I get to it. So I have some thread here. I have some ribbon. I just pulled out just some things that I thought I would need. Now, this is a new purchase. This is bamboo cording. It's for jewelry, but I don't know it's very stiff. I don't know what that would be like to stitch with, but I'm willing to try it. I want to try some different things. So I thought these colors were really beautiful. I really love this color, and I like this variegated cord here. It's really pretty. And then there's just a black and a creamy white. And then I bought some purled cotton because I didn't have any purled cotton. And I see a lot of people using it. And since this is a big pumpkin, I don't mind using like thick thread. So I bought these colors, different shades of orange. These are by DMC. And I thought they were beautiful. So I'm going to be trying to incorporate some of these. Now, from what I read, because I was, I'm new to this embroidery. I'm new to embroidery. And what I read is that you would use a pearl cotton when you want to use all 6 strands of this. Because this is twisted like that and it's not easy to separate necessarily. Whereas, you can separate these and get a thin thread or, a thick thread. And so I think I'm just gonna try it and see what it looks like and how I like it. So I think that will be fun. And I hope these colors work. I did not have this fabric with me when I bought these colors, but I pretty much bought every shade of orange that they had in this pearl cotton. And then I knew at home I already had one like this, Then I have kind of this like real dark, like orangey. Here in Texas, we call that Longhorn orange for the Texas Longhorns, especially since I live in Central Texas near Austin. You know, it's a very popular color. So anywho, so that's what I have. And then I just have some different greens here that I already owned. I didn't buy any new greens because I kind of like to make like a little vine or something. Or I might put those in the stem. Okay. So that's all the supplies that I have here. Now I want to get to stitching. I don't want this video to be too terribly long. So that's why I kind of pre-cut all this stuff out, because it takes a while to get all these things, you know, prepped and together. Okay, so before I'm going to do, I think what I want to do before I add any other fabrics to this pumpkin is I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put in my lines that are on top of the pumpkin. Even if they get covered up by the face, or you know, I'm not going to mess with the stem, but I am going to go ahead and I'm going to stitch those lines in. And I think I want the bottom to be darker than the top. So I'm going to use my darkest orange, which would be this color. And that really blends in quite well. What does that look like? It's almost the same color, but I'm going to use this one. This is 720 DMC color. And I'm just going to separate it, get my needle out, and start stitching. I'm trying to decide, I think I'm probably just going to do a back stitch on those lines so that they look kind of like an even line. Oh, I don't know why I pulled my thread that way. Let's see. So if you are an avid stitcher, and you've been doing this for a long time and you have a lot of experience, let me know when you use pearl cotton and when you use stranded cotton, because I would be interested to know that. Like, is what I read on the internet correct, that you want to use a pearl cotton when you want a thicker thread, I guess, to use. Okay, let me find a needle. And I have my right glasses on today, so that's always good. So I think I said this in a different video. I can't remember though, so I'm sorry if you've watched this one and I'm repeating kind of something I've already said. But I'm at that point in my life where I'm starting to need bifocals. And so last time I went to the eye doctor, she gave me a prescription for both. So she gave me a prescription that I could use for single vision glasses, and then she gave me a prescription for bifocal glasses. And so I got both to see which worked better. And so I just bought cheap frames because I knew I was going to get two different pairs. And so at first I liked the single vision better because it's just sort of what I was used to. But now I am starting to like just wearing the bifocal glasses. I've kind of adjusted to them. At first they seemed really weird to me, but now I'm getting used to it, and it's probably what I'm going to be doing going forward. Let me move this in closer so you can see. Okay, hopefully that's good. So I'm just going to start on the edge here, and these are small little lines. So you know what I should have done? I don't know why I didn't do this already. Is that I should have used the pearl cotton, or I should have done all 6 strands. I may go over, I wonder if I can go over top of this twice, because I want to cover up these these blue lines that I put on here, and I don't think 2 strands of embroidery floss is gonna cover them up very well. So I think I'll cover them up again. So I'm just making small stitches, doing a back stitch here. Oops, yeah, see, I'm way off on that one. That's okay. I'm going to go up here above my line to make sure that it's kind of covered up. Because I do want a thinner line at the top. And then, you know what, I'll just go over it twice, and that way it will look a little thicker when I go back toward the edge again. I think that's what I'll do. I'm even going to put another one in there. This may turn into a satin stitch rather than a back stitch. There we go. Okay. That's looking good. I like that better. Try to make sure I stay in the frame of the camera. It's really hard. It's so hard to think about all these things that you're doing at one time when you're trying to record yourself. You're thinking about what you're going to say, and you're thinking about what you're doing, and then you have to remember to not travel with your arms, and stay in the right area so people can see what you're doing. It's a lot. I didn't realize it, you know, how difficult YouTube was until I started doing it. Okay, so that finishes up that little line of stitching. Try not to over pull it there. Okay, I'll bring it up close so you can see. It's blurry, I'm sorry. Focus, camera, focus. Maybe if I do it like that, that'll be better. Okay, so now I'm just going to go to this next line over here and keep doing those the same way. Okay, I've finished up the bottom work here. And now I'm going to start working on these lines on the top. I'm using this DMC Pearled Cotton. Color is 946. I've already threaded my needle. I had to change my needle and get a bigger eye needle. And I'm probably going to work it the same way I worked this down here at the bottom, I think. So I'm just going to start maybe right here. Maybe I'll start, no, I think I'm going to start on the edge. I can't decide if I want to work, how I want to work these. Like how I want to hold it while I'm working on it. Now, oops. The edge, I'm not too worried about because I am going to sew it onto some green material, and that will, the edge is going to get covered up when I do that. So I'm not too terribly worried about, you know, having my stitches to go all the way to the edge. Okay. I'm gonna go, well, maybe I'll do one more stitch. Yeah, the eye of my needle is catching a little bit, but it was the thinnest needle I had that was big enough, the eye was big enough to work with this thread. The other needle I was using, I tried to get it threaded in there so I could just use the same needle, but it didn't want to go in there. It kept splitting on me. So okay, now I'm gonna go just up to that line because I'll be coming around this line too, And so I don't want my threads to overlap each other. So I'm going to work right up to that line. And I don't think I'm going to tie off with these. I think I'm just going to hop over to the next one that's close by, and hopefully that will work. Okay, I think that's cute. I like this better than than the 2 strands I did down here. I should have done more, but now I know. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do this one next. And this time I'm going to start here, right on that edge. I'll probably have to turn it around here. And I'm just going to follow the line. I know when I did my spider web I didn't want any lines, but I realized that with this kind of project, I think I want to make sure that it looks like my drawing that I made, so. Oh, where is it at? My thread's a little long here. One thing about the pearl cotton I'm noticing, since this is my first time working with it, is that it doesn't tangle up as badly as the stranded cotton does. And this might have been better worked in a hoop. I'm not sure. I don't really know what makes people work in a hoop versus holding it in your hand. Maybe it's just personal preference. I know Marion from Marion's World, sometimes she works in a hoop and sometimes she doesn't. So I wonder why, like, is it the nature of the kind of stitch work you're doing? I'm not really sure. I have a hoop, but I don't know that I have a hoop that would be small enough for this. I probably do, because my daughter has a couple of those little kits that, those little embroidery kits or lacrosse stitch kits that come with a little hoop. And that, I might have tried that. Ooh, I do like how it's looking though. It's looking really cute. I think I'll finish this one line, and then for the sake of this being a super long video, I will probably just go ahead and speed it up, or just come back when I've got all those lines done. I hope everybody's having a wonderful fall season. It does not feel fall here where I am. 94 degrees today. It is still quite warm. But I know the cooler temperatures are coming because I have not been seeing my hummingbirds anymore. We were seeing quite a few hummingbirds, I think because they were migrating. But like, it wasn't even that long ago. It might have been like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And the last week or so, I've not seen very many. I think I've seen one in like the last week or so. So I know that they are preparing. They're flying further south. And so they know better than we do, you know. They know what's coming. So before long, we will get those temperatures. So if you were having fall-like temperatures where you are, congratulations. I just so welcome that fall weather, but at the same time, I don't care to have like super cold temperatures. Because that means I got to bring my plants inside, and that's going to be a struggle. So this year, after that storm happened, and we put up a pool because we lost our big shade tree, and we didn't have shade anymore. And so I am going to be planting a new little tree back there. It's going to be a tree that doesn't get that tall, because we have power lines and stuff up there, and there's a pole, like a transformer pole back there, and I don't want a tree that's going to grow into that stuff. So I picked out a tree. It's actually a shrub, but I'm going to prune it like a tree. And it only gets about 10 to 15 feet tall. So it won't grow into those lines. But anyway, what I was saying is that we put up a pool. And, you know, because our yard just looked bare after removing that tree. So we put up the pool, and then I wanted to kind of landscape around it. And so my husband went out and bought these 4 beautiful, like, ceramic pots to put, well, I don't think they're ceramic. They're something else. They're made of something else. I don't know what. But anyway, they're beautiful. And I put some plants in there, and the plants that I chose, I mean, there wasn't a lot of choice at that time, you know. By the time it hits July around here, there's not a lot to pick from at, like, the nurseries and stuff. Because for one, they're kind of picked over, and for two, it's hard to keep all that stuff alive in the heat here. So there just wasn't a lot to choose from. But I got a palm. Some kind of palm. It doesn't grow very tall. It's not a tall palm tree. It just grows to about, I think 10 to 12 feet tall. And it's really pretty. But it only goes down to like 30 degrees, I think. And in a pot, I feel like 40 degrees, 45 is probably when I should bring it in. And then I bought, I bought a hibiscus tree that's like braided. So it's like where they braid the bottom part. I've always seen those. I've never bought one. But it's beautiful, and it has 2 different kinds of flowers. So I guess it has 2 different kinds of plants that are braided together or grafted together. I don't know how they do it. But anyway, those will all have to come inside. So, okay. So there is my first one, and I love the texture on that. I tried to do like really small stitches so I can make it curve, and I love that. I'm loving that. Okay, so I'm gonna go through here and I'm gonna finish up all these little lines, and then I'll come back when I'm ready to do the next thing. Okay, so I'll take that off. I was playing around with that. Okay, I finished all my lines here. I think they look really cute on there. I love the little texture that it's making. Okay, so I was kind of looking at this stem, and I have an idea. Instead of fiddling with those teeny tiny little pieces, I think what I'm going to do is that I found that if I move my stem down, it won't have the same shape. You can kind of see here where the orange is peeking out here and here and here, but it's relatively the same. So if I pull it down like that, if I pull it down like that, then I don't have to worry about those little fiddly pieces to fill it in. And I think what I'm going to do is to sew it down like this, and I'm just going to like sew these, like some of these lines in to hold it in place. And then I'm going to trim up what I don't want there. And then I'm going to stitch around the edge to hold it in place. And then I'm going to do, actually I might not do that next. I don't know yet, but that's my plan for right now. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Rather than trying to either put these on here or, I'm just going to fill in. If there's kind of a gap there, I'll just kind of fill it in. I think with my thread. I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to get that in place. I mean, it's pretty much in place now. I could bring it down a little closer to my stitch work. And let me look at the back. See how it overlaps a little bit right there? But, I don't think it's really gonna matter that much. I'm actually gonna go ahead and cut off. Make sure I don't cut my pumpkin. I need to cut more. This is tedious. It's in the details. The love is in the details. Okay. I think I can fix that later on. So I have some green embroidery floss here that I'm going to use. It is, let me see what number it is. It's DMC 3052. It's a beautiful green. And I'm going to come from the bottom. I'm going to do this line in the middle. It's going to be more, I don't know, maybe like a straight stitch. Is what I think it's going to be, because it's going to be larger than the back stitch. Because I wanted kind of longer threads here. Or basically, it's just going to make bigger threads. I mean, stitches, not threads. Bigger stitches. So it's basically like just a back stitch, but with bigger stitches. There we go. And hopefully that will hold that in place while I work on it. Oh, I think that's really cute. Yeah, that's gonna work. Okay. Now I'm gonna move over here and I'm going to do this other main thread or line that I had drawn, kind of working in the same way. Then I want to put some other lines on here too, just kind of some straight lines. For my stem. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to come up here and I'm going to go around the edge. It's just going to be hard since it really is only one piece of fabric now. Right here on this little stem. So I'm going to make little small stitches. Try not to do that and break through my fabric. Okay. Now, what do I want to do next? I'm going to trim it. That's what I'm going to do next. So, just ever so carefully with these really sharp scissors. There we go. I'm going to trim off this extra orange. Maybe I can hold it like this so you can see what I'm doing here. Okay, now I have to be careful because I don't want to cut off the rest of my pumpkin. I have to make it match here somehow. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Okay, actually I think that looks pretty good. Honestly. Okay. It's still, even though I put those stitches in there, it still wants to move around. So, I think I'm going to go around that stem. And I think, I wish I had more of a brown color, which I think I do. Oh, I know. I'm going to try my new bamboo cord here. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know how this is going to go. Okay. I want this variegated one for sure. Okay, I'm gonna do it here first. Oh my gosh, I don't know if I can. Yeah, it's gonna put too big a hole in my fabric. Oh, it's tore my fabric. This might not work. But I'm always willing to try things. Oh, but it looks cool though. It looks cool. Oh, I am breaking my fabric though. And that really stinks. I think I could have gotten the same look with 2 strands of pearled cotton or 2 strands of embroidery, like a double, like take it in double, and what you call it, take some embroidery floss, I can't talk all of a sudden, and double it. I think I would have gotten the same look as I would with this, and it would be a lot easier to sew. So note to self, I bet this would be better if you were working with felt. It might be better. But it's always good, fun to try new things. It's just that on this channel I don't pre-try things before I do them on camera. I like to just try it and see how it turns out. And then you guys can see the result too. If I just had done this off camera and then realized it didn't work and then just never used it, then you guys might see this. Someone else might see this in the store and be like, oh, I'm gonna do something with that. And then now you know. It doesn't really, it's not very feasible. This is too stiff. I bet it would be great for like weaving though. I bet it would make a beautiful like woven bracelet or something like that. It probably would be really pretty. Or knotted, like in macrame, kind of something like that. Okay, hold on. I don't want to do that. I don't want to go into that stitch work up there. I'm going to stop there. Glad I saw that. Okay, I'm going to take, actually, I don't know. I guess I'll just pull it out. Okay. There we go. I think I would like this just straight lines through here, through the middle, to look like striations in a, in a pumpkin stem. I'm gonna start over here, like right there. Oh gosh. Oh, it's gonna pull out. And then I have a big knot up there. Oh my, I should have started at the bottom. This is not, it's not working out here. Okay, you stay there. Okay, here we go. Wait a minute, I'm going the wrong way. I'm supposed to go that way. Yeah, it's very hard to get the needle through there because I have to have such a big needle. No, that's just not gonna work. Oh, come on. I want it to match the other side since I did the other side. Okay, that looks good. So, just a few more, maybe 2 more, and that will be, uh-oh, oh, don't knot up, that would be bad. Okay. Okay, almost there. And then, like I said, I'm just going to put a couple of straight lines in there. Okay. I'm going to come on this corner, I think, just so I can get this kind of, yeah, I guess I'll do like 1 more stitch in the corner. Whoops. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to go up beside it over here, kind of close to the edge, so I can tack down that edge without having to, instead of doing a long stitch like I wanted to do, I'm just going to bring it into there. There we go. Then I'll do a long stitch up to here. I probably won't go all the way to the top. Now back down. Kind of see what that looks like. Wish it was all 1 stitch there, but it's just how it is. I'm going to try to do 1 over here, and maybe I can make that one 1 stitch. And then make it go up higher to like right there. I don't know. I don't know that I like that. Okay, well, I'm going to stop there. It's kind of looking like a mess. It really is. I don't know about that. Okay. Well, I won't use that again. Would have been better if I used something different. Alright. Well, there we go. I'm not doing anything else to that poor stem. I'm going to leave it the way it is. Okay, and we're putting that away because I'm not using any more of that right now. That even kind of mashed hurt my fingers. Okay. So, we'll put that aside. And there we go. Okay, so now I think I can start putting the face together, and that's going to be fun. Okay, I think I have decided before I start on the face, I want to put some texture down here at the bottom, and so I'm going to try using this pearled cotton, kind of an orangey red color, and I'm going to put that at the bottom. So I've threaded my needle. This is color 3801 in case you're interested. And I think I'm going to just do some cross stitches, just randomly across this bottom area. And just give it some texture and maybe a little bit of dimension, maybe some little color variation here. I don't know, I'm just trying it out. I'm going to see how it looks. Practice some different stitch work. I have a cat in here with me today. My little tortoiseshell. We call her the princess because she's the only girl out of 4 cats that we have. And she loves being wherever I am. She's my little buddy. Okay, so I'm going to put one right there. I'm just going to kind of do them like that. If that will focus. And I'm just going to place these kind of randomly, you know, wherever my needle wants to go, really, through here. tangle there. So you might see her tail right here. You show them your little tail. It's so cute. She has this little white ring around the end of her tail. If I am to sit down on the couch, especially if I have a blanket over my lap, our cats, oh my gosh, they love it when you sit down with a blanket. I mean, she'll lay in my lap anytime, but if I have a blanket, and she sees me sit down, she's going to be in my lap pretty quickly. So funny. But even when I'm in here at my table, she likes to come in here and join me, which is totally fine with me. Okay, now I'm going to jump over here. Now, these little cross stitches might get covered up with the little mouth of my jack-o'-lantern, and that's okay. I just wanted to add a little bit of texture, like I said, and practice my stitch work and give a little color variation down here at the bottom. And if some of them get covered up, that's okay. Whoops. I love doing cross stitches. That's one of my most, they don't always look, the best, but that's one of my favorite stitches to do in embroidery work. I love making the running stitch, and I love doing cross stitches, and I love doing seed stitch. And I like the end result and how it looks too. And I like that there's so many variations. We think of running stitch as just kind of one thing, but there's so many variations of it. I always tend to get this one too far off from my center. I try to picture a box, and that's like way far off. They're going to end up looking like stars or something, but that's okay. I'm not worried about it at all. So I'm just going to continue on here, and I will come back whenever I get all these little cross marks done, cross stitches. Once I get all those done, I'll come back and we'll start working on the face. I'm so excited about the little face. That's going to be fun. Okay. Okay, I have finished all of the little markings I wanted to do down here at the bottom. I think it looks really cute. So now I'm going to start with the face. And I think I'm going to do the nose first. I'm going to lay everything on here first. And I really think I want my eyes to go that direction, opposite each other, but I'm going to flip them over because I had started drawing on this one to try to draw a triangle, and I have a white line on there that I don't want. So I'm going to flip that to the back. So I want to put it over there and flip this one this way because these triangles have a certain little curve to them right here, and I want those to kind of be symmetrical. So I'm just kind of trying to place out where I want my stuff. I want my nose a little lower. There we go. I think I like that. I'm going to have to redo it. Oh, it's a little crooked. So let's see. I'm trying to move that up just a tad. You could take a picture of this in case you're afraid you're going to forget, but I think I'm just going to relay them on there. Okay, let me look at it straight for me. Okay, I think it all needs to come this way a little bit. It's kind of lopsided, not quite in the middle, and I really want it in the middle, so let's move it over a tad. Okay, I think that looks better. to me. I wish this mouth was a little bit more, I don't know, more fun. But anyway, so I think that's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to start with the nose first. So I'll probably take these other things off and I'll just leave the nose on there. And I think I'm going to use, no, I'm not. I'm going to use black. And I may not, well, no, I want it to show up. So I'm going to use the black pearled cotton. So I'm going to prep that. And then we'll get to stitching down these little pieces. Okay, so let's take off the mouth, and I'm going to take off the eyes, and I'm left with the nose. Now see, that looks crooked to me. Now looking at it by itself. Okay, so I'm going to just hold it there. Try not to move it. And I'm going to just stitch it on here. I guess kind of like a whip stitch. Try to hold it real still so it doesn't shift on me. Trying to make sure that I'm not going to break my fabric like I did on this up here. I don't want to have that problem again. It's hard to hold on to because it's so tiny. It's going to be cute though, I think. So just a minute ago, the blue jays outside were going crazy. I don't know what was going on out there. I don't have my windows open, and I'm glad because they were being loud. I don't know if something was invading on their space. I don't know what was going on, but there were several of them out there talking up a storm about something. It's kind of funny. I love watching birds and listening to birds. I am thinking about starting a new YouTube channel and making a cat TV channel and filming our own birds that we have here. Because sometimes I turn those videos on for our cats, especially when we leave the house. Or sometimes when there's just not a lot going on. And our little black cat, well, he's a big black cat. I've talked about him before. He's young and he's very rambunctious. And he loves, the others don't really pay attention to the TV very much. But he will watch TV. It's the funniest thing. And he will sit there and he will watch those birds. Sometimes he'll go after them and then realize it's a TV. But he loves to watch those kinds of things. And so I thought, what if I filmed our own birds and he can watch our birds? And then I thought maybe I'll make a YouTube channel like that. And that might be fun. Fun to see. I know soon this weekend, by the time you see this video, it'll probably be over. But I think there's a bird watching day coming up where you can report what birds you've seen in your area. And it helps scientists to know, I guess, like how many there are or where they're living and that kind of thing. So that's pretty cool. Okay, I'm just going around this little nose in kind of a, well, a circle, but it's not a circle because it's a triangle. But I'm just kind of going around and stitching it down. It would have looked cuter, I think, if I didn't have so many stitches in here. And did just like 2 here, 1 up here, 2 down here. I hope his nose doesn't end up looking like a tree, because that's kind of what it looks like to me right now. Maybe it won't. Maybe I can stitch that at an angle. Maybe I'll put one more. I think I'll do one more over here. Okay, so that's what it looks like in the end. I think it's really cute. It looks very patchwork-ish, which I love. Okay, so now I'm just going to continue with the mouth and the eyes. And I will come back when that's all completed. Okay, so I finished the face. I think it's really cute. Now, this is not, of course, supposed to look realistic. So I wanted it to look a little bit like patchwork. And so that's what I did there. And then I've prepared my backing. So let me show you what I've done here. So I have, this is just, I didn't have any green fabric on hand. So I just took an old t-shirt and I stitched it down. You can see here at the bottom, I just did a running stitch, kind of made a frame. And then all I did was I stitched it to some quilt batting or wadding, however you like to call it. And then I just did some straight stitches to just kind of implement like some little sprigs of grass. So I'm going to do a couple of those on camera, because I want this to look childlike and kind of cartoonish like, because like I said, this is not a you know, realistic like pumpkin patch or anything. So I'm just going to make kind of a big one over here to match this one over here. I started out with that bigger one and then I decided I didn't like it. And so I just started making smaller ones, kind of like what you would see. Kind of reminds me of like in a children's book or like a coloring book, how you would just have a few sprigs of grass here and there. And so that's kind of what I'm trying to do on here. Just some simple straight stitches. And that's all I'm doing. I thought that going in different directions would look, you know, that's what grass does. It grows all different directions. But when I started making it over there, I didn't really like how it looked. So at least these two hopefully will look kind of similar. They don't have to be symmetrical, but don't like that there's an empty space right there. Okay, I think I'll put it like maybe up here. It's really hard to do random things. I am finding that I just want, I don't know, I just kind of want things to look symmetrical. But a lot of times in nature, things are not symmetrical at all. In fact, most of the time in nature, things are not symmetrical. And even though I don't want this, not wanting this to be realistic anyway, so it kind of doesn't matter, I guess. I've noticed that if I did it like that it kind of looks like bird feet. So I've been trying to at least put 4 strands in there so that it looks a little more grass-like. Okay, so I think I'm finished with that one. So I'm going to tie off this green, which is really easy to do with this batting. I'm really not worried about it coming out, but I will put this on something else later on. I have an idea. In the spiderweb video, I had mentioned that I wasn't sure what I was going to do with these, but I kind of have an idea now of what I want to do with them. And so that backing there won't matter. Okay, so now I'm going to put my little pumpkin on here. Let's see. When I was doing this backing, I took my blue pen and I kind of traced some little lines here so I knew where the pumpkin was going to go. I mean, not that it would really matter if it covered up some of these little sprigs of grass, but I did do that as a guide to help myself. Okay, and so I think that's about where I want him to go. Oh, he's looking cute. I like it. I think it looks cute. Okay. I'm trying to get him centered. And with this t-shirt material, it really sticks. I noticed that when I was sewing these on, even though t-shirt material is really hard to cut out, but it was easy to sew on because it didn't move around. It just kind of stuck there. Just kind of like how this is sticking on here. See? It's just, it wants to stay, and that's fantastic because that means it won't shift and move while I'm trying to sew it down. So, okay. So now I'm going to sew on the pumpkin, and I'm going to do it with this pearl cotton, the same one that I did up here with. And I'm just going to go around just the same way I did with these. He looks crooked to me. I don't know. Maybe it's just maybe it's my eyes. Maybe my eyes are crooked. It looks good on the camera, and then when I turn and I look at it, it'll be fine. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm gonna quit fussing, and I'm just gonna do it. Okay, so I'm just gonna pick a place here, and I'm just gonna start. I think this is where it probably would be good to have a hoop. But I don't know. But I'm just going to stitch it on the same way I did the others. And then I'm going to add some little finishing touches to the top because I think it needs it, and I have an idea of what I want to do, and it's going to look really cute. I think it's going to look really cute in my mind anyway. Hopefully I can make what's in my head come alive on the fabric. Right now, with me being a beginner, that's hard to do. Sometimes, an idea that I have in my head doesn't really turn out because my skills don't match my creativity, I guess, yet. And so hopefully the more I practice and I get better at this, that will start to happen. When I worked in preschool with preschool kids, I loved making bulletin boards. And I would make like 3D bulletin boards with trees like coming out of the wall and just really fun things. I loved doing that. I didn't love taking it down, but I did love putting it up. And so, I haven't worked in preschool or pre-K for a long time. since I quit working after my daughter was born. And so this is kind of fun going back to that. It's what this kind of reminds me of. Only then I wasn't doing stitching. I was just, decorating with a stapler and, paper. But it's kind of funny. I think art comes in many, many different forms. And I don't think you need to paint or draw to be an artist. Because to me, doing embroidery work sometimes is like, it's like painting with thread, or drawing with thread. And so I really do. I really love textile art. And that's what I really am striving to get better at here. Because that's what I would like to be able to do, is to create works of art with textiles, with thread and fiber and fabric. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to continue this all the way around, and when I get that on there, I will put on the finishing touches and this little project will be complete. Okay, I have just about stitched it all the way on, but I had an idea. So here I kind of did the same thing I did here, where I went kind of over my fabric into the green. And then when I got to the stem here, I went right down along that fabric. So it kind of gives my stem a bit of a puffy appearance, which I kind of like. And so I think I'm going to see what it will look like if I put like a little bit of stuffing in here. I left this open. I haven't finished it yet. And I'm going to see, I'm not going to put a lot, just a little bit, to give it kind of a 3D kind of look to it. So like that's probably all I'll put in there, like just a little bit. Because I'm afraid it's going to make my fabric kind of bunch up. Okay, I'm just going to thin it out a little bit here. Because like I said, I don't want much. I just want a slight little bit of something in there. Okay, it needs a little more fluff. Okay, so what would happen if I do that? So I don't know if you can see on camera, maybe if I do it like that. I'm afraid it's going to curl down like that and not look good though. So I think I'm going to take some out. Maybe I don't. Like I said, I just wanted a little bit in there. Trying to evenly distribute it so there's not a puff in the middle. It might have been better if I'd have just laid some batting in there. That's better. Okay, I think I like that better. I'm going to pull some down here to the edge. And then I'm going to stitch it down. And we'll see how that looks. Okay, I'll do with my needle here. So I think this is going to be cute. While I was stitching this, I was thinking, if you've ever seen those little fabric books for babies and toddlers, wouldn't it be fun, like, to make your grandkids or your kids like a little sensory book, where instead of putting stuffing inside here, you could put like a plastic bag, like something crinkly or something like that. where it would make a crinkling noise, you know, or you could just do different kinds of textures created with this thread like this. I think that would be really cute and really fun. Okay, so another thing I've been doing is that when I come to like a part of the fabric that goes like, it comes in, it's not straight across like it is here, I've been going down right next to that orange fabric to the edge so that it pulls it in so it doesn't look like it's all one thing, and it kind of emphasizes these little bumps, I think. At least that's what I've been doing. Because I didn't want to just stitch over them and it just all look flat. So here I can start going back out again a little bit further and see how it kind of gives a little, you can kind of tell there where the curve of the image goes in and then it curves around again. Okay, so I'm just going to finish this up and then we'll put on the last finishing touches. Okay, now pumpkin's all sewn on. Now I have some ribbon here. It's very bright, but this is the color I have. I didn't buy anything for this. And I'm going to use it, I'm going to stitch it on, hopefully in a way that it looks like a pumpkin vine. And then that's all I'm going to do. My project will be complete. I think it's going to be cute. I hope it's going to look cute. So I think I'm going to start with about this much thread. I don't know what that is. Maybe about 20 inches. And I think I'm going to tack the middle down here in the middle of my pumpkin. Like right about there. And I have some embroidery floss here about the same color in my needle. And I'm going to come up from the bottom through that ribbon. And I'm just going to start kind of manipulating. Actually, I'm going to go down again. I'm going to go down twice before I start doing that because I'm afraid it's going to pull out with just being one thread in there. Okay, there we go. That's better. Now I'm gonna kind of like do that, make a little like loop there. Let's see. I'm gonna bring you in closer so you can see hopefully what I'm doing here. Hopefully I can do this without poking my thumbnail. Okay, so I'm coming up right in the middle of that ribbon. And it's going to leave like a little bump like that. And then I'm just, stay where you are. This might be harder than I imagined. Okay, I'm just going to kind of go up different directions here. And then I'm just going to tack it down. Hopefully that will look good. I can't find my thread. Okay. Okay, I don't want that to show though. Okay. See what I mean by my creativity and my skills? Because see what I did there? I'm trying to get it close enough so you can see. I have a green thread there. I don't want that. I don't want that there. So, okay. I'm going to try to fix it by coming up maybe under here. So maybe I should couch it. Where's my needle? Maybe I should couch it rather than trying to just going along and tacking it down. That's what I'm going to try to do. So maybe instead of going in the middle of that ribbon like I was, because my thread pretty much matches the ribbon, but I don't want it to be too weird like that. Okay, well, I'm just going to keep going because, you know, I could be here all day fiddling with that, and I just don't think I want to do that. Okay, so I want it to kind of go down like that. And I guess where I want it to stay, that's where I'm going to come up and couch it down. I guess what I should have done, I should have kept that at the bottom instead of going over the top like that. But see, I kind of have to catch that ribbon. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I don't know how this is going to look, but I'm going to try. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay. So now I pulled that down. I want to pull it pretty tight. Then I want this ribbon to kind of go out here and into over there. So I'm also trying not to crease the ribbon too. It might have been easier, this thin ribbon like this, if I would have just, I guess I could have just threaded the ribbon. Maybe that would have been better. Let me know how you would have done this if you are, you know, an expert. Okay. Now, where should my ribbon go next? Should I just do it off to the side? Or I could come up here and do a loop-de-loop. I could do that. Kind of like to do that. Okay. This is stressing me out a little bit. Okay, because I want it to look cute, and I'm not sure what I'm doing. Okay. There we go. Okay, that's really cute. I like that. So then I'm just going to come over here and stitch this part down, tack it down. I'm going to do it one more time. Okay. Then I'm going to tie it off on the back and I'm going to cut my ribbon. I do want this to be really secure, so I'm going to make sure that I secure this thread. I'm even going to go through my knot. Okay. Now, cut my thread. I'm going to re-knot this so it's ready for the other side of my ribbon. I don't know how many of these I'll do. I don't want to overdo it, but I think it definitely needs a few more. I'm going to cut it off right at my little framework here. Okay. And there we go. Could use that for a blade of grass or something. That would make cute grass. I'm keeping that. Okay, now let's see. Maybe I make this one come down over my pumpkin. I'm just going to kind of plan it out here and see how it looks. If I could kind of do it like that and make it come down over here. That's kind of a big loop-de-loop I did. I guess I could over here. It's kind of a big loop-de-loop. There, that looks better. Okay, so I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to loop this one around, kind of like that across the middle, because I don't want it to look flat here in the middle. So then I'm going to tack it down like that. Oh no, stay, stay, stay. Stay, stay where you are. I might tack that piece down like that. Okay. Then maybe I do another loop-de-loop over here. Or not, I don't know. Maybe I'll just do it kind of like that. I hope I'm staying in frame. I'm really concentrating on what I'm doing here, so I apologize if I don't keep my work where it's supposed to be. Now, what if, okay. Trying to turn this little ribbon is tricky. Okay, I want another loop-de-loop there. Okay, just for the record, I am not couching this down. I'm just stitching through that ribbon, tacking that ribbon down. Just kind of wherever. Oh, I don't want to do that. I'm going to mess up again. Okay, so I need to go back down to the back before I come up over here. That's what I should have done earlier. So I don't necessarily have to couch it. I can just got to make sure that I go back to the back every time I want to put a new like little stitch in it. Okay. This one I'm going to have it curling down kind of on top of the little pumpkin here. Maybe I should not have stuffed it because it is hard. It's kind of hard to work around this pumpkin with it being stuffed like that, but I think it makes it look cute. Okay, and now the edge over here, I think I'm just going to have it come down like that on the edge, just kind of like that. Okay. And there we go. Okay, I'm going to put a few more kind of curlies, like short ones, up here in the middle. And then I'll come back when I'm all finished and I will show you the end result here. Okay, I have finished my vine work. I don't know. Sometimes maybe I just need to step back for a while and then come back and look at it, but it kind of looks like a tangled mess. I don't know that I love it, how it turned out, but it did give me a chance to practice some skills. I think one thing I am going to do is take these little edges of the ribbon and cut them at an angle so that they kind of don't look so straight. Maybe that will help. I don't know. Maybe it's the color that's throwing me off a little bit. Maybe if I had a darker green ribbon or something, I don't know, that might work a little better. That might be what's throwing it off for me. And then I kind of want to do the same thing on these. I'm going to be very careful. That's why I have these very sharp little scissors. And maybe that will help it look a little bit more like a vine. Whoops, that didn't work. Ooh, that's hard because it's wiggling out of my fingers. There, maybe. Okay. So I think that helps it to look a little better. But that's my finished product here. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it hasn't been too boring. And I hope to hear your suggestions. Let me know what you would have done differently, or if you're doing any Halloween stitching. I would love to hear about it. And so with that said, thank you so much for watching this video, especially if you made it all the way to the end. You're just an angel, and I appreciate you so much. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.